The NFL draft.
On that.
Well, yeah, we're over
Grim
on that.
Reaper came to Philadelphia last night. Said
Jalen
my guys
Brunson
packing.
Said, let's have a party on Broad Street like it's 7th Ave in New York City.
I never thought this day was going to come. I never thought the day would come that we would actually play a series, and I never thought we'd have to sit down here and talk about the Sixers losing that said series. That is incredible.
It's just incredible. It happened. The series is over. The best series in the first round of the
If you could
play.
rank satisfaction, what would you rank it? Like if you could take like Yankees beating the Phillies in the World Series, Giants beating the Eagles in like the NFC Championship, Knicks beating the Sixers. Let's say this. I mean, this was the first round, but this wasn't because I guarantee there's probably Sixers fans coping like we were a 7 seed. Like no. Like you know what I mean? So I'll put this up there too. Like what would you rank those?
So, I mean, I think this definitely is up there. Giants, Eagles is probably
That'd be insane.
number one. Gotta be because like
I'd be sick. I'd be sick as fuck.
yeah, like that. Giants, Eagles is number one for sure. Yankees, Phillies, that's very close with Sixers, Knicks.
I feel like Sixers fans hate the Knicks a little bit more, so it makes it a little more.
Especially with the fans that were coming in. But like the big thing I want to start out with this series, obviously we know that the Knicks move on, they go to Indiana. Game 1 will be on, we're recording this on Friday.
Congratulations on making the Eastern Conference Finals, New York Knicks.
Yeah, it's awesome. This is a gritty team. It's a gritty team. And I can tell you this like wholeheartedly. No game in this series will be like any of those games that they played in those 6 games. I'm not saying I believe it's going to be either the Pacers are going to win, fine, it's not going to be like a gritty like 1-2 point game down the stretch in the last 30 seconds, or the Knicks are going to win and it's going to be fine. Maybe. These gritty ass games where it's a sweat and everybody is putting in maximum effort, like I don't see that happening in all 6 or all 7 games of what this series could be.
No, yeah, it was really besides one game in that series. Every game was fucking incredible, pretty much.
The big thing I want to hit on is after game, what was that? That was game 4 in Philly, and Embiid had those comments of Knicks fans coming into Philly, and he was kind of like calling out Sixers fans, saying, it's a big Philly town, Philly sports town, and then you let all the Knicks fans come and intrude. I completely, as a New York fan, I wholeheartedly disagreed with that because let's just look at the numbers. He clearly didn't know the numbers. For the get-in price for Game 5 back at MSG, just to get in the door was $457. So you are getting, down at Wells Fargo Center, you're getting $200 to $250 cheaper to go there. Why would Knicks fans not just do that? I mean, it's nothing against Philly fans. It's just
I agree with Joel, but I don't really care that much. I think people care too much about that.
People were like secondary market this, secondary market that.
Agree, but it's like, bro, I mean, fuck it. I've known the Sixers fans were kind of like that, though. I mean, we caught one of that early in the season. It's all good. I'm not going to go too deep into it. I don't want to piss too many people off today. They're already a little too pissed off.
So the Knicks move on, and they will get the Pacers. Game 1 will be...
I just, like, with this series, like, because we talked about it in the last episode, and I seen a couple more people talking about it, but, like, not really many people have been talking about how great the series really was, bro. Like, I think there's a lot of conversations, like... First of all, there's a lot of people hate watching. I know you could tell people are hate watching Embiid. I can tell people are hate watching Jalen Brunson. Like just 100%. The amount of like there's the series is 2-1 in Philadelphia. Joel Embiid to drop 50 points, and we're talking about like who's foul betting more. Like it's sickening. Like people are even talking about foul betting in the game 6. It's like, bro, like I'm just gonna start from the gun bust. Like that series could have easily been 1-1 tied. Even Sixers 2-0 up if Josh Hart doesn't shoot 50% from the 3. Josh fucking Hart. And I'm going to start with this because the first 2 games, you could almost say Josh Hart won the next series, but you don't want to do that to Jalen Brunson, just because Jalen Brunson started off a little inefficient. But you could literally make a strong case that Josh Hart, because of his start of the series, literally gave him the edge and won the series. Almost romantic. Game 6, Jalen Brunson trusts Josh Hart with the final shot. We were talking on this podcast legitimately a year ago, probably around this day, about Jalen Brunson not trusting Josh Hart with the final shot. And you could say Josh Hart won the series, but he really didn't. It was really Jalen Brunson. To start with that story itself is fucking incredible. Then Jalen Brunson. Pretty sure he was like 8 for 26 game 1, 8 for 29 game 2. I'm sitting here talking about Maxey was the best guard in the series at that point, which he was. He comes out back-to-back games, breaks a record. First person, most points and assists in 2 games in a playoff series in NBA history. I think it was like 80 points and 40-something assists. It was like 86 points and like 40-something assists. It was getting 40 and 10 like it was easy. in Philadelphia, old stopping grounds, like going band for band with Joel Embiid. After he drops his 50 piece, comes back and matches the 40 piece when Joel Embiid has a stinker game. Fucking incredible. Go to MSG. The Maxey game. I want to highlight one thing about that game, and like, there's so much about that game you could talk about. People were kind of on Joel Embiid's ass first and foremost. Brother, the defense he played when he checked in the 6 minute point. I mean, at 6 minute point, he had like 6 points and went 2 for 3 or whatever. But the defense and the rebounding he showed from that point on, from the 6 minute point of that game, all the way through OT, as much as Maxey's offense wins that game, Joel Embiid's defense rebounded won us that game because we can't rebound for shit versus that team ever. I think that was one of the highest IQ basketball plays I've ever seen from Tyrese Maxey, though. And we tried to replicate it in game 6 and it just didn't work. But I think the Knicks had one timeout at that point, 10 seconds left, come over half court. You know the Knicks are going to call a timeout at least. Probably foul, but at least call a timeout. They call a timeout, the Knicks set up a defense. It's going to be way harder to get a shot off. I mean, you got Dante DiVincenzo, Josh Hart on you off ball. It's going to be a fucking bitch to get a clean shot off. Coming over half court, got a screen from Joel Embiid. Says, fuck it, I'm going to let it fly in MSG with 6 seconds left. Like, from the fucking N on the New York logo. Like, bang. Tyrese Maxey, 46 points in that game. Fucking ridiculous,
Should
bro.
Never have happened.
Fucking
up
ridiculous.
6 with 28 seconds
Up
to
6
go.
20. Yeah. And
Josh Hart misses the free throw.
bro, the refereeing has been horrendous this series, by the way. Thank God you said that, because Tyrese Maxey cannot buy a regular call. Like, just a regular run-of-the-mill layup foul call on the regular. In that game, we're down 6 with fucking 30 seconds left, and he gets like the weird like pump fake dive into him that we thought was banned this year for the and one.
But definitely
like,
was a foul.
Right, but I'm just to start off, what the fuck is he officiating in this series?
Yeah, it's all over the place.
I understand people were mad at Jalen Brunson. The little shit he was doing, stopping the lane and pulling up, I thought we put an end to that. Like, it's okay. It's all good. I just thought we put an end to that. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a problem but my thing is with the whole foul betting conversation, I have no problem with the players doing it. Like, I don't know if you remember we did the podcast when Trae Young fucking walked us down. I had no problem with the fuck he was doing. If that's what they're going to allow, good players are going to fucking do it. I just thought we weren't allowing that shit. But the fact that Tyrese Maxey couldn't get a run-of-the-mill foul call going to the basket this series after some of the foul calls I saw other people getting, holy fuck, bro. I just don't want to complain about it anymore. But the officiating was fucking ridiculous. But I think the most incredible thing is, like, Jalen Brunson and all the gotta have it games in Philadelphia was the best. Like, it wasn't like you would think it was MSG, right? Like him and MSG. Like, in MSG it was the role players for real. He came to Wells Fargo every single time, completely locked in. Game plan was there for him. I have my gripes with Kelly Oubre and Nick Batum for some of the ways they were defending him. Like, and Tobias Harris falling asleep. I mean, Tobias Harris fell asleep on the possession where OG dunked on Joel Embiid.
That was insane.
And then the last possession where Jalen Brunson hits the mid-range shot, like with the left hand, I think it was the and one he gets. Kelly Oubre is literally giving him the entire middle of the court. We get the ball on the extended slot of the left side of the floor. The sideline is where my water bottle is. He is defending him like this. What? Like, I think
did you like the call? Because people didn't like the call.
Even if the double team is coming, you can't give a player that good, that much, like, oh, I just see so much green grass. I'm just going to go there. If the double comes anyway, I'm already 2 feet at least at the nail before I can make a pass. What the fuck?
They didn't like the call because Oubre was behind them and they headbutted each other.
That just should not be a foul. He made the shot anyway, though. And I think he missed the free throw. So, like,
missed the free throw.
It didn't really matter, but that call was happening throughout the whole series, and I just thought we were putting an end to that. It doesn't fucking matter. The way we defended that was fucking brain dead. And then, like, the Josh Hart shot. But also, Dante DiVincenzo catches a lot of the gripe from a couple other places he's played at for kind of fizzling out in the playoffs.
Which he did.
And I was gonna say there were remnants of that. But when you gotta have them, Game 6 in Wells Fargo, 5 3-pointers.
How about the shots
all of them fucking massive
in the first quarter?
Massive. And then in the other, was it Game 2 you guys won? There was another game he made 2 threes in the first quarter, but it was like just big. And you're like, oh boy, it might have been Game 2 though. But yeah, when he gets going in the first quarter,
he had more threes last night, more threes in Game 5.
Was it 5 or 6?
More threes in Game 6 than in games 2, 3, and 4, or 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah.
Like, more threes in one game alone.
Yeah.
And finally he showed up. And after he made those first 2 and the Knicks started rolling early, I remember sending some texts out and I was like, this may be the DiVincenzo legacy game that we've been looking for throughout this entire series. Mm-hmm. Because what we were talking about last week, specifically about this series, was Dante should be taking the shots that Hart's taking. But Hart's just shooting
50%.
He's getting the open looks. He has to take it. And if you notice on that last shot, when Brunson kind of took both defenders over to the left side, you get Hart at the top of the key, wide open by himself.
Literally the same
he
thing.
It looks like he was trying to fake the pass. But what I thought on that is it didn't look like he wanted to take that shot, and he looked like he was going to fake that pass, and then that gave, I don't know, it might have been Oubre or
Oubre,
who came over to defend the shot, and he actually gave him more time to get there to get his hand up.
It was Maxey, yeah.
And I'm like, just take the shot. Like if you miss it, you miss it. And then in his sideline after the game, he's getting that sideline reporting, and he's like, look, I missed the free throw that would have ended it in Game 5 in New York, and I said I got to be better, and that's just what I do, and that's what he said. That's what I do.
What about, I think throughout the series, every single game, and I was a real big critic on Deuce McBride early in the season. Holy fuck. There was Game 6 especially, there was a point, he hit a big three without Jalen Brunson in the game. You think they're going to get no offense. And he's just being a pest on defense as well. Deuce McBride was fucking massive, just his presence in the series. And I slept on him for a long time. And I see why Knicks fans love him the way y'all do. Anytime he does anything, it's fucking Deuce in Philly, in New York, no matter what. So I can respect that. One thing I do have to say, though, is there's the people having words for Joel Embiid. There was Sixers fans, I'm going to put a quote around fans, because I just can't imagine the things that came out about this guy. I watched the Golden State game with you when he got hurt. I would literally calmly was saying it's over. I just didn't plan to see him again this year. I was cool. This shit is over. He gets hurt game 1 again, trying to go for a dunk. This shit is actually over. Going for a off the backboard one, complete brain dead. Do you not know what's going on with your knee? Whatever. I respect it. Goes for that. Hurts me again. I actually think it's over. I think I'm not, him playing the next game to me was a fucking pipe dream. I thought at least it was going to be like the series from last year. We got to miss a game, and it's same story over and over again. He was averaging 36, I think, 12 and 6.5 before he sat out. In the series, he averaged 33, 11, and 5.7 on one fucking knee. And it was extremely evident. There was plays where he was going for a layup, and you could tell he can't jump on that right knee. There's plays going for rebounds, and you could tell blocks. You could tell he can't jump off that knee. The fact that motherfucker, and whenever Bell's plays these, they're saying half his face was paralyzed or some shit. I think they're kind of gassing it, but I think there's symptoms and shit outside of basketball that other sicknesses and shit that probably fuck with you way more than we even know. The fact that motherfucker pushed through that and literally only dropped off maybe a point to every average is absolutely ridiculous, and got hurt in that series. And there's people that were in the Sixers fan base talking about this is why Joel Embiid can't be the guy. What the fuck are we actually doing? I understand the frustration, because it is the same old song with him getting hurt. But this was not the same old song of a series of him fading away and not giving you every single thing he possibly could have had. And if we want to talk about embodying the city of Philadelphia, him going down over and over again and getting up and battling when he doesn't have it offensively, battling on defense, battling on the boards. If that's not embodying the city of Philadelphia and you can't buy into that, I think that's more of a you problem than the Joel Embiid problem. And I just had to say that about Joel Embiid.
But can we confidently say, for everybody out there that wants to go on this 1A bullshit conversation.
Oh, Jalen Brunson can be a 1A or the series?
Series. It's over. Jalen Brunson 1A. 39, 47, 40, 41, and 12 in the last 4. Give me a break for everybody. And I said a week ago.
We can run victory laps for being 1A.
It is clipped. I said I don't care about 1A. Did they win the game? We don't have to have this debate every time Jalen Brunson has a good game. And here we are, just to close it. Stamp it. Over 1A. Close the briefcase. It's over 1A. If you want to have that argument, it's over because Jalen Brunson got that. You have to give a lot of credit there, and I want to read this stat too. Jalen Brunson is the 3rd player in NBA history with 4 consecutive playoff games of 35 or more points and 5 or more assists in his single postseason, joining LeBron James in 2009 and Michael Jordan in 89 and 90. It's just incredible. And you go back to what you were saying about him doing that in Wells Fargo, and last night after he made that big and one play, he's staring right at the rafters, looking at Nova.
That was corny. He was corny for that, but he's a hooper.
I didn't know where he was looking at the beginning. I saw a tweet about it.
He was corny for a lot of shit that he did this series, but that's my guy, though. I'm not going to be one of them Phillies fans that's not going to act like that's my guy. There was a lot of Philly fans that was acting like that wasn't their guy.
Oh, my God. After he's standing on the baseline, and all these Sixers fans are screaming at him. I'm like, I know you hate him.
That's my guy.
I had people texting me last night trying to compare the hatred for Trae Young in that series against the Sixers to the hatred that they have for Jalen Brunson in this series.
I thought it was worse.
for Jalen Brunson in the series?
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy.
I think it's worse because I thought Brunson was really hooping. Like, I saw a post on Twitter that was like, there was like ethical hoops, and there was like one game where like he had more like way more free throws than Embiid, and people were like hashtag ethical hoops, and like other guys are foul baited. I'm just like, people are looking way too deep into it, bro. Like, this guy is extreme. Like, I think he had like, I want to say, I might be wrong, I want to say 62 made field goals in the series. Foul baiting or not, like, we can just multiply by 2 every time. That's a lot of points in the series, man.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we gotta be a little more like, I fucking came in here and balled the fuck out.
Joel Embiid still had more free throws last night in Game 6 than Jalen Brunson.
I mean, he probably should, but that's why I think that argument's dumb. We're comparing a 7-foot center to, that's what I'm saying.
It's a dumb argument.
But that's why that's kind of what I'm saying.
Like foul baiting.
But taking away from all the shit that we're talking, like, you compare him a stat to Michael Jordan and LeBron James. And like, when you look at the conversations people are having, it's like, it's extremely brain dead. Even about Joel Embiid, like, I went to the averages. I didn't have to do that though. Let's look at the net rating when he's on the court and when he's off the court. Even when he was having bad games, like, it's like I said it last year, and I've said it every year on the podcast about people not being able to appreciate like good basketball when it happens. This is a series that like I think we'll see this again, just because I think the two teams are trending in the right direction. But like, bro, this was special. Like, this is a rivalry series in a fucking playoff game, and literally both all stars pretty much came to shine. Dante, I'm gonna put Josh Hart in there. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then Tyrese, I could look up Tyrese Maxey's averages this series, but before Game 5, there was like it was like player A, player B, and it was like player A was Maxey, and it was like 34 points a game, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, like 40-something% from 3, 50% from the field, and like 90% from free throw line. Player B was Jalen Brunson. It was like 36 points a game, like 8 assists, whatever rebounds, and then like the split, like the percentages, like Jalen Brunson's percentages, obviously because he's taking fucking 30 shots a game, were worse than Maxey's. So I was like, who would you rather have? And it's like, bro, people aren't even talking about how much Maxey came into his own this fucking series, bro.
He did.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
After
like,
the legacy game that he has at MSG in Game 5, he has 5 points through 3 quarters in Game 6. That cannot happen.
It's just, I mean, he's not like that. It's like, what do you think he is? You know what I mean? Like, there's fucking 5 games in a row where he's 30, 35, 30, 46. Like, if he had another 35 ball, bro, I would have been calling him God. Like, what he gave me, perfectly fine. He's gonna have, and plus watching Maxey the whole year, he has games like that, and I expect Tibbs and Don DiVincenzo and Josh Hart and fucking OG Anunoby to be like, all right, this guy's gonna win the series for him. We can make sure that's not.
Can we just see why Knicks fans are in love with OG? Just by
incredible this series.
The defending is just unreal.
And the big shots he made in Game 6, a big gripe I had watching OG was like, you're giving this team a shit ton defensively, but even offensively throughout the series, I was kind of like, OG, you know what I'm saying? Jalen needs some
threes too.
Jalen needs some help. He hit some massive shots in Game 6, massive fucking shots. And the play where he turned down the 3 to go bang on Embiid, we don't know if he was going to make that incredible play. OG Anunoby definitely deserves some fucking flowers. And plus, Mitch Robinson and Hartenstein, like, won't get their respect, but they probably woke up this morning. I mean, because one of them's actually hurt, but they woke up this morning probably feeling like absolute dog shit. They went to literally Vietnam with Joel Embiid, and Joel Embiid did do what he did, but they made it very, very hard, and they deserve a lot of fucking credit.
See Hartenstein's
how tough they played, just reinforcing the Knicks' attitude, because there was a lot of talk about like there's games. I mean, Game 2, I think the Sixers legitimately got out tough. Game 1, you could probably say too. After that, the Knicks are going to offensive rebound. That's what they do. It's their brand of basketball. I think they do, like the Knicks, they do such a great job of, like, no matter what type of game is, no matter what situation it is, they're going to be on brand with who they are, that toughness, that grit. I'll give the Sixers, I don't think the Sixers quit. I don't think they fizzled out. I just think they didn't really show that until they were backed into a corner. The Knicks are going to do that 0-0. You know what I'm saying? In MSG 1-0, 2-0, it looked like Game 7 effort. You feel what I'm saying? That's what the thing about the Knicks that I hope they get past the Pacers so we can see the Knicks Celtics series. Because I think they could really, I don't know if they could win that series, but I think that mentality from the Gumbas, it doesn't matter. This is Game 7. That mentality could fuck up some teams.
The heart is going to be crazy for that series if they can get there. And you talk about Game 7 too. For everybody that was all over, Adam Silver can't let this game not go to Game 7. Game 7 at MSG, like Adam Silver's going to want that. All those things all over social media before Game 6. I'm like, wait, just you wait. And that's over. And now that's over. And I go back to Hartenstein as well. Those like floater kind of like one-handed push shots over top of Embiid. He was doing like
he was hooping, bro.
all series, and especially when they let the Sixers claw back into this game, you could notice when they're driving into the lane, it's like dump off to Hartenstein every single possession, and it was almost like you got to stop running this offense through him because he was missing and missing and missing, and then Sixers just got all the way back in. I mean, it was 22 points. This game was over.
That's one thing that concerns me about the Knicks in these other series is these offensive lapses that they tend to have.
They had no field goals for almost 4 minutes.
Yeah, because I mean that's the Sixers' complete weak point too. It's two teams with that you saw it so many times where the runs back and forth and play a team like the Pacers. I'm not going to say they're consistently offensively hot, but when they're offensively hot, you can't have those kind of lapses versus that kind of team. They'll just run you out the fucking gym. That's the one thing that concerns me about them. But I think they could figure it out. It's where you miss someone like Julius Randle, just that extra body that can go get a bucket.
Yeah, and I think that's not going to be talked about as much.
People aren't talking about that at all.
I haven't heard it once this series.
Yeah,
once.
Like, would you rather play the Knicks with or without Julius Randle? Like, there's a unanimous without. Like, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, 100%.
And then let's just touch on the process as well. I saw this from StatMuse. Process started in the 13-14 season, and look at this: Boston with 10 playoff appearances and 5 Eastern Conference Finals. And you go all the way to the bottom of that list, and there's the Sixers with 7 playoff appearances and 0 Eastern Finals. It's kind of like a dig to Embiid, is what I'm getting from that.
I mean, it's just retarded.
But like, we're just gonna do that all the time.
There's a lot of context in there that we're just not speaking on.
Yeah, we're just not. I mean, look at Miami in there, 8-4. Like, it's just a lot of hating things, and we can keep it with Embiid as well because you look at Embiid in the fourth quarter of this playoffs as well, 23% shooting from the field and 11% shooting from 3-point range in the fourth quarter. Not really big fourth quarters from Embiid, and he obviously fouled out, and a lot of people were like, oh, that's fitting. He fouled out. Listen, no one else was trying to foul Brunson there, or I think it was Dante. He had to make that. I mean, there was another 6 seconds that came off the clock there. I mean, we're now down to under 12 seconds in the game. He had to foul him there. It didn't matter. Who cares? He fouled out. He 39 fouled out. If he didn't foul him out, he would have ran the clock out. It would have been game over.
I don't know, but these numbers are pretty. I mean, people that can't do like just simple math, bro. I mean, this guy
but this is also an even crazier stat.
For instance, like just for the fourth quarter thing, let's just preface this guy's playing on one leg. And let's just also preface that this guy's backup center is Paul Reed, and cannot get a break. Like, that was a big conversation with Game 5. They were asking Nick Nurse and all that, like, how much are you going to get Joel Embiid, da-da-da. Like, there's just no wonder. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just going to leave it there. There's just no wonder. Well, what were you saying?
I was going to say, look at this stat here. In the 23-24 season, Embiid averaged more points per game, rebounds per game, assists per game, steals, blocks than he did in his MVP season. I mean, that's kind of crazy.
I mean, and he had his best playoff series ever by the numbers.
If we're looking at the numbers. And I'm not saying we're going to sit here and that as a Knicks fan that I'm going to, defend Embiid here, but I'm just going by numbers here. Definitely a better season if you're looking at the numbers. Now, am I still mad at the play from Mitchell Robinson? Yes, but it ended up not mattering. And I think your point from that play on Mitchell Robinson was best, where if it wasn't a 2-0 and it wasn't in the first quarter, he would have got ejected. Yeah. And then we just have to touch on this statistic as well from Tobias Harris with the goose egg last night. This is a picture from StatMuse, and on the left they have a picture of Ben Simmons making $31 million a year, and in his final playoff game as a 76er had 5 points and shot 2 of 4 from the field. And in Game 6, Tobias Harris making $40 million a year, had 0 points and shot 0 for 2 from the field. And that most likely is his final game as a Sixer, final playoff game as a Sixer. As a Sixers fan, would you bring Tobias Harris back?
No, absolutely not. But like, it's I didn't want to go on the excuse train, but like, you know what I mean. Like, I'm pretty sure there's a point in this series, I think he had like 8 field goals made through like 5 games. Like, I just, you know what I mean. We're pointing the finger at the guy that averaged 33, 11, and 6 on one knee. It's like, what are we doing here? It's all right, though. I'll see you later.
There was Sixers fans that were joining in on the fuck Embiid chants as the Knicks fans were doing it walking out of the stadium.
It's a sick fan, bro. I literally would not care. Obviously, there's contracts. I wouldn't care if he didn't play another minute for the city ever again. I'd cheer from on the way out. I swear to God. This guy played on one fucking leg with Bell's palsy and literally did not have a drop-off, and we are not, like, what are we doing? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would be A-okay if he wanted to go to LA and say, fuck the city. But contracts and shit, he can't. But, like, holy shit, man. Yeah, it's bad. You can't talk basketball to everybody, man.
I think a crucial part of the game, too, was when it was that really tight game down the stretch, 3 or 4 minutes to go. Jalen Brunson goes back-to-back threes.
After the deuce three.
After the deuce three. I mean, it was like...
Changed the game.
They changed the game
right there. You guys
were
down 3 and then back to up 6.
Yep.
Changed the game.
And then at that point, there's like 4 minutes to go.
If we can ride that up 3, win that game by like 6 or something, 7, like convincing enough to where it's not the final possession, go to New York with some confidence, it's different. Obviously, but like those shots at that point in time after out of the timeout, incredible. And not enough credit to Tibbs. And other thing, motherfuckers' conditioning is insane. Those guys did not look like they were that tired at all. Like, I'm talking about Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, DiVincenzo. Like, they are playing 46 minutes a game, bro. Like 44 minutes a game. Like, people, I don't know what kind of conditioning Tibbs teams do. I guess it's just playing all those minutes. I hope it doesn't catch up too fast, but
DiVincenzo with 48 minutes last night.
The condition doesn't get talked about and how hard it is for these guys to do that and sustain that over fucking time. It's incredible, bro. It's fucking incredible. And
in the press conference, they asked Tibbs if, Josh Hart's was out there for a while. Was there, a thought that you were going to give him a rest or give him at least a second on the bench? And he was like, I was never taking Josh Hart out of the game.
Yeah,
never.
That's like the one thing people say about Tibbs, but like, I just want to take hats off to the fucking players that are playing 46 minutes a game through a 6-game series in round 1. Fuck me.
I mean, it's still like obviously best series of the first round. Eager to see if this Anthony Edwards Jokic series can top that. I'm very excited for that.
I put $30 on the Minnesota Timberwolves win the NBA Finals at plus 1,100 2 days ago.
You think if the Timberwolves get through this series, you think the Thunder can, like, would you rather see the Thunder play obviously they would have to go to the Mavs or Clippers.
Play the T-Wolves every time, but like, I don't know if they're gonna get past the Mavs, bro. Kyrie is in that mode. The West has been special, but it's been not special. The first round series have been, but it's just the players and the matchups I've been loving, like James Harden and Luka and Kyrie just going back and forth, and then you got fucking KD versus Ant, even though it was a sweep, but that series to me was fucking sick. But I'm riding the T-Wolves right now, bro. I think Ant got something special with those guys brewing, and I think they're riding them. I watched a clip the other day. It was like Anthony Edwards mic'd up, and at the end you could hear fucking Mike Conley like, take me there, 5, take me there. And I'm like, yeah, it's something a little different. I don't know how much I trust Cat in these big series, but plus 1,100, bro. Like, bro, the odds for the NBA Finals were insane. It was like Celtics plus, I swear to God, I think I saw plus 135. And then I think I saw the Nuggets at like plus 260. And then I think I saw the Clippers at like a plus 7 or plus 800. And then I saw there was mini plus 1,100. Like, bro, what the fuck else are you going to do? Let me get the T-Wolves, man.
Now, after what I did say is, well, first let me go back here and start this conversation. What did you think about the 9 o'clock start for an Eastern Conference game for Game 6? I know we had the 6:30 start for Pacers and Bucks. Pacers move on there. Big win. Did you understand it? At least the things that I saw was that it was moving that to 9 because if you had them going even 30 minutes spread out, 6:30 and 7 or 6:30 and 7:30, like no one would have been watching that Pacers game, and NBA needed, ratings.
Yeah, I'm 25 years old. So
I know. I thought that would have been awesome. Like, for the people tailgating that game, you go down there after work, you get there, you get 3 hours to tailgate in a lot, and then go in.
For 3 hours. I'm not going. I don't really understand. Especially young people bitch about that shit, bro. We 20s, 30s, bro. We can stay up late, bro. One day, like, I be looking at people like, bro, what the fuck? You think you like 70, bro? Like, the game's right at 9, bro.
Yeah, we don't need to go.
I'm tired, but I'm good, bro.
And also, like, my adrenaline was going crazy watching the game. That I was like, after the game, it's like 11:30, almost 12, and I'm like, I need to sit down for a while because I'm still hyped up.
We watched the good Sunday night football games and the good Monday night football games, and then stay up for the hour and scroll the internet and see what people are saying after, bro. So we could watch.
We can watch the late
25
game.
years old, bro. For the older people, I do feel a little bad. Like my mom, that's fucked up. That's fucked up for her, bro. You know what I mean? 9 o'clock starts a little OD, but we can deal with it.
I have to go back on Embiid briefly just for his turnovers, leading the postseason right now in turnovers at 25. He had 9 in Game 5 in the game that they won.
Awful. I mean, he was getting a lot better out of passing out of the double team this year.
But still, we're seeing balls go thrown into the
stands.
stands.
I really hate to be that guy, but the knee 100% affects that. I mean, stand up and try to throw an overhead pass and like see what you step off of when you throw that. Like it's going to get lazy. I hate being that guy, but I just play basketball and I just know what it is. But like, yeah, they were bad. Like he's going to have to get better at that. But I think even this year, I mean, he was having near triple doubles, passing out the double teams. Like he was doing great doing that when he was healthy. So I don't want to be that guy right now. But it was bad. It was definitely bad. The knee definitely does affect that probably. I mean, just lazy as fuck, tired. That's what it is, bro. I think that's one of the things for me. I mean, I'm not a Knicks fan, so I obviously have not, like, as a Knicks fan, you're not watching 82 Joel Embiid games for fucking 6 years, but I mean, this is part of the package, bro. You feel me?
Yeah, this is what you got.
Yeah, like, I'm not going to really rant about that.
You just have to give, tip the cap to the series that this was, and even going to the point differential there, 650 for the Knicks to 649 to the Sixers. Like, unreal. And even saying that stat with watching that first quarter and Knicks going up by 1 million thinking this is over. And it's funny because I never thought that. I'm like, third quarter Sixers are going to come out. Like, that's what they've done this series. Knicks come out at halftime, slow, not making shots, and the Sixers do the complete opposite. And then that actually turned into third quarter Sixers to second quarter Sixers, and Embiid's drilling threes, and it's like, wait a minute, is this going to be game 3 all over again, where third quarter he was dropping 3 after 3 after heat check, and Knicks just go on a scoring drought, and then, I mean, we just get to the second half, and things kind of change. Sixers ended up going up. It was 10 points. It was 8 points. It was multiple times in this series where Sixers multiple times in the second half or later in the game would go up by 10. The Knicks would bring it back to 2, and then it's back to 8, and then it's back down to 1, and then it's to 7. Knicks were kind of, even though they got that one big lead, I always just felt like they were kind of clawing from behind to try to come back and win the game. And that's something where in the postseason, there's not going to be a lot of times where, you can come back consistently from a greater deficit, especially against teams like the Celtics. And you can argue getting later in the playoffs, it's regardless, it's not the Bucks, it's still the Pacers. Like, you can't be doing this every single game. So, and it goes back to your conditioning point. I'm eager to see if Dante DiVincenzo can kind of continue to get out of this shell of that narrative of that playoff dull. And just keep shooting, get those open looks and just take them. Excited to see if Precious Achiuwa is going to get some more minutes now, obviously with that big block and Embiid in game 4. So I think you give your hats to Tyrese, you give some of the hats to Embiid. I'm eager to say now that, like, I would say best player in that series on the Philadelphia 76ers was Tyrese Maxey, guaranteed. And yeah, had to be. I know, like, you are an Embiid, like, you are a big Embiid guy. It's Maxey on that team.
I just watched the basketball games, bro. I saw from a lens of someone who played basketball.
It's Maxey for me.
There's 2 sides to the basketball court.
And then obviously it's Brunson for me, for the Knicks.
Okay. Move on. No one in that series is ever going to touch a plus-minus differential close to Joel Embiid, by the way. Like, not even close. We can just look through Basketball Reference right now if you have the time. Like, no one's going to come close with it. So we can just...
Look at that differential for McBride.
Was he plus?
Minus 17 in Game 6. Wow. Solid stuff from the Knicks. I'm super excited. And you got the Rangers, Game 1 on Sunday, second round against the Hurricanes.
Joel Embiid averaged 33, 11, and 6, and we're saying he wasn't the best player on the team. That's wild. On one knee.
It's crazy how, like,
this is what the internet does to people, bro.
If Maxey didn't have that, like, dull first 3 quarters, I mean, he had 9 in the fourth.
Joel Embiid did what Maxey did last night. There's no way you would say that. Like, no way. Like, and the other way.
Wait.
If Joel Embiid had like a 10-point game in Game 6 and like he still had a great series, there's no way you're crowning him the best player. Anyone, bro. I'm just pointing out the double standard.
You are pointing out the double standard.
You know what I mean?
But it goes back to the point that we originally started the show with, where there's a lot of Sixers fans that are
just a lot of
fed up with Joel Embiid.
We gotta
I'm not saying done with.
Let's take an internet cleanse, bro. Let's not let those people get to our head, bro. They don't really. I'm not gonna say they don't know what they're watching because that's a little disrespectful, but they don't know what they're watching, bro.
Let's briefly touch on Patrick Beverley in the Bucks loss. I mean, I don't know what that was. You throw the ball at the fans It hits a woman in the head, and then it gets thrown back to him by another fan, and then he just kind of whips it right back at him. I don't know if something was said or, I mean, there's no justifying it.
Had to be, but I mean, Pat Bev's on like a crybaby train right now. He's not taking interviews. He's not talking to reporters. They aren't subscribed to the podcast. Like, I don't know if you.
Well, I didn't know that.
Did
what?
you see that? Yeah, he's not. There was like after that game, there was like a lady that was on his right trying asking questions at his locker, and he was like, "Are you subscribed to my podcast?" And I think she was like, "No," and he was like, "I'm not answering questions from you," and started talking.
Wow.
Like, so he's on a little bit of a run right now. So I don't know what he's going through. He might miss Philly a little bit. Yeah, big fella got to get together.
Wow.
Yeah, he got to get it together. I don't know what Pat Bev got going on. He playing catch with fans. That's not catch though. He trying to play dodgeball with the motherfucker.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I don't know what he doing, bro. He got to get it together.
Yeah, well, he's got certainly plenty of time in the offseason to do that as the Pacers move on.
A lot of time.
And then lastly, let's just touch on this. I saw a bunch of clips of this. I ended up watching the 6th episode here. Mind the Game pod with LeBron James and JJ Redick. It is.
Could you imagine that? Like, imagine you talk to somebody and they were like, I'm not going to. Imagine like we talk to somebody and we're like, we're not going to fuck with you if you don't like it, bro. Keep going, bro.
It's the weirdest
thing. It's just mind blowing.
It really is the weirdest thing.
Like,
yeah, we didn't spend enough time on that.
No, like it's just mind blowing, bro. Like it's all good.
And especially in the.
You are a millionaire, multi-millionaire, bro.
You're already well known enough. You know?
Yes. Tell him that Scott 80 Potter. They're not going to talk to him, bro. Like,
yeah, we're done talking.
Yeah, bro. Fuck.
Mind the Game pod with LeBron James, JJ Redick. Saw a bunch of clips of this, and it ended up, getting me kind of bought in when I watched the first episode, then skipped to the 6th one to kind of break down the 3-point shooting. And it really is just like insane how the memory that LeBron James has going over certain plays. And JJ Redick is asking LeBron after he shows him one of the inbound plays, it's like, who did you run that play for? Because that was, that was, I forget whose play it was, but LeBron runs it and he's like, oh, so somebody else has run that? And he's like, I've run that before. And he's like, who'd you do it to? Who'd you throw the ball to? Who'd you run that play with? Danny Green. Remembered it. Like that. There's just and that's only one example. But it's just so cool to see these two guys kind of break down the game like that. And I saw some like different things and rumors kind of swirling around social media that LeBron is kind of asking those questions. You set up the play. You run the play. Set it up. And the rumors swirling around that is like LeBron's kind of giving that, that stage for JJ to prove that he could be a head coach in the NBA and start to get interviews for a head coaching job.
That'd be cool.
Like, do you think that's a possibility? No, we could see JJ leave ESPN and go be a head coach somewhere.
I mean, the way shit works, 2024, I could see that's their whole plan. I just like with that thinking through that lens, it's just so funny because like, bro, like look at the player coach dynamic. If we're gonna look at it, I'm just gonna look at it through a player coach dynamic lens. I'm gonna say JJ Redick's the coach of the Los Angeles Lakers and LeBron's the fucking player. Like, look at what happens when like they draw the plays up. It's like, you know what I mean? Like LeBron's almost like correcting JJ. Like, what the fuck? Like, is that what coaching LeBron? Like, to me, and JJ Redick knows the game. He's been around the game for a long time. To know how that works and like to willingly be like, I'm about to step away from, maybe not step away, you might still do podcasting, but I'm going to take a slight pivot away from podcasting and go coach LeBron James. Sick people, bro. Like I salute the basketball love. Like that is a different love to the game. You peaceful, old man in the 3, you get to talk to the young bulls, Alfred Sengun, Franz Wagner, Luca's on there, Jalen McDaniels on there, we chilling. My man Tommy, we gonna sit courtside, take pics, fuck, you know what I mean? Do whatever we want. He's taking a podcast tour right now. That might be part of it. I don't know if you've been seeing that. He's been on a couple podcasts lately, so he might be taking a job. You gotta really love the game to make the pivot he's about to make. And I mean, you can tell the way he talks about the game is just absolute sicko. Only way to have a podcast that they have is to be an absolute psychotic about fucking basketball. So I salute it, but I just think it's fucking crazy just seeing the way. I know that's how LeBron is with his coaches. Probably just going to the meeting rooms and shit. And like, it probably is as much LeBron's team as it is the coach. And it's just like, bro, that's why these people are better than me. I couldn't do that, bro. Listen to me.
Even the stats that like JJ's bringing, especially in the 3-point episode, bringing stats from years ago and how the game has changed more to taking the 3 instead of driving to the basket. And then bringing the stats of like consistently, if you're making that shot, you're getting 1.5 more from that basket beyond the arc than inside. And then they're showing, as they're having that conversation, the editing's great because they're showing exact plays where he means, where driving up the court, they run at an open lane and then just dish out. And then it's like pass all the way around the arc until we get an open three. So for the people like my dad, I'm assuming your dad as well, it's just like, bring the old game back. And like, watching the game with my dad last night, he's like, you could call, just like NFL, you could call a hold on every NFL snap. You could call a travel on every NBA play. So it's like that same thing. And then he's like, I don't even know, because, from him watching the Knicks growing up as a kid, he's like, I don't even know what a foul is anymore. And then last night he was getting so frustrated at calls for Embiid and then even calls on Brunson. He was like, I mean, what was that? And he's like, you know what? And this is a frustrated comment, obviously, but he's like, you know what? They should just play without refs. Call your own fouls. Because what is that? And obviously you can say that because of what happened in that next series. But I thought it was just really cool. I'm definitely tapped into Mind the Game with LeBron and JJ. And I'm eager to see what JJ will possibly do. I don't really...
Don't do it, homie. Don't do it, bro.
I don't feed too much into it.
Don't do it, JJ. Do not do it, bro. You don't care what we got to say, but... I'm gonna say, don't do it.
I mean, and if that's the case, like I'm gonna miss like seeing him just analyzing the game on ESPN and or like John back at Stephen A and putting him in his place from statistic wise and numbers wise and all those analytical things that they're talking about, because he's gonna be more on the bench and coaching the team. Maybe he'll still be able to do this show with LeBron, so we can at least get a little bit more of him. But him just breaking down these plays and bringing out the clipboard and drawing them up and all that kind of stuff, like. I thought that was super cool from a guy that never played basketball. Like, I mean, obviously, like when I was a little kid.
So you hooped.
Yeah, right. But like understanding those plays and like where the screen's going, where this person's going to go, and then how the defense is going to come this way, and then that's going to free up this person over here. Like, yeah, you can see it and you can understand it, but when they break it down by the X's and the O's and they really are drawing the exact play, that's cool for me to see as someone who wasn't in a super competitive basketball team where like those things matter. I never was a part of that. So like seeing that was cool for me. It's like that when, and it's different for you because you played, but it's like that for me with the Manning cast. They're talking about the different defenses and all that kind of stuff.
Whenever I would listen to motherfuckers talk about golf, bro, I'd be like, wow. Tiger wish he would.
Yeah, Keon Coleman might be
that shit is
a fan favorite
funny.
This season as well.
That is really me when it comes to golf, bro. It'd be the littlest shit. I was telling you about the Brooks Koepka little TikTok clip. I'm talking about the mentality of the game for literally I was talking about that shit for like 3 days. So like, yeah, bro, I can only imagine. Like if Tiger Woods came out with a podcast like this, I'd be locked in, boy. Yeah. Locked in.
And eventually, and last thing, did you see the Sunday Red merch came out?
Yes. Did you watch that 10-minute interview?
I watched like the first 2.5 minutes. Didn't watch the whole thing.
That shit was great. After they got through the how you had it, that was great. It was good.
The one thing I did want to note on that is the conversations, again, talk about swirling around social media, was how expensive this merchandise is.
What the fuck did y'all expect?
I mean, it's $120 for a polo, $200 for a workout hoodie.
Oh, I ain't worried about. Oh, y'all tweaking. I see all that good gear. Y'all not getting shit past me, bro. Y'all not getting shit past me. We not gonna bitch about Tiger Woods prices with a good hat on, a fucking Bob Does Sports fucking polo on. We not gonna bitch.
And speaking of Bob Does Sports, they just came out with their tequila seltzer. Have a day. Good for them.
That's fire. We not gonna bitch about Tiger's prices, bro. They should charge y'all motherfuckers more. That shit should be exclusive.
It should be. And I almost did pull the trigger on that yesterday and get one of the workout.
It's in range. You could do it.
It is in range.
It's going. You gonna have to. You could do it.
It'll stink.
You could do it. You got right. Let Tiger get his money, man. Tiger. I mean, bro, he limping around Augusta getting last, bro. Y'all talking about how much he charges for a fucking polo?
Be for real.
Man, do what he want to do, man. It's a fucking goat.
All right, we got to get out of here. We got a bunch of shit to do today. Got some crazy news today, so we got to go cover all that kind of stuff. Calling into the show, very important. Call the number 302-722-6699. Call into the show. We will be reacting to your message on the show. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe on the YouTube and our Apple Podcasts and Spotify audio listeners. We do love and appreciate you. Give us those 5-star ratings. They do mean a lot to us. The Knicks are going to the second round. The Rangers are going to the second round. Oh, man. It was a party on Broad Street like it was 7th Ave last night for Game 6. We will see you from the second round, New Yorkers. Lock in. You've been listening and watching to the All Day Everyday Show with All Day AJ and Manny Ruffin. See you soon.
Motherfuckers rocking Peter Millar vest talking about how much Tiger Woods shit cost.
Greg Norman doing a sale too. I saw that.
I heard nobody talking about that shit, but they Peter Millar on. They foot joy traditions on talking about Tiger Woods price.